What's up guys, in this video I'm going to break down the 3 big reasons why the black pill is fucking you up. Did you guys know that according to YouTube analytics, over 70% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel? So before we get into this video, I want all of you guys to hit the subscribe button and comment below, I subscribed, and we will do our best to personally respond to every single comment. Alright, so in this video we're going to focus on the 3 ways in which the black pill community is potentially hurting the people who consume it. Now for the record, I don't disagree with the black pills about everything. I think there are some things they get right, some things they over-exaggerate, and some things they get wrong. And this is going to be the focus of this video. So let's start off with the big one, and this is going to be the fear-mongering. There's a lot of fear-mongering in the black pill community, this complete over-exaggeration of the risks. Yes, there is a risk that comes from dating and talking to women. There are stories of guys who just were normal. They approached a girl, the girl freaked out and called the cops. There are stories of guys who, had a chick press false charges against them. That stuff does exist. No one is saying it's false. However, the question is, how often does it happen? Just like there's stories of guys who crossed the street and then a drunk driver came along and hit them. That does happen. But if you're a reasonable human being, you're probably still going to cross the street. It's the same thing here. You're probably, if you're a reasonable human being, you're still going to talk to girls because the risk is extremely small. Like, unless you're walking around with your dick out and chasing girls, like trying to hit them with your penis, or you're not taking no for an answer and you keep persisting when they say no multiple times, chances are you're going to be okay. The risk of something bad happening in a situation like that is extremely small, and this is something that black pillers don't acknowledge. They completely overblow the risk that comes for the average guy just approaching and talking to a girl. They make it seem like it's a really dangerous sport where people are just dying left and right, and that's just really not the case. I've approached tens of thousands of girls in my whole life, never once had an incident. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the odds are extremely small. Right, I think it's good to be. But the problem is that when you're focused on the potential of the negative, when you're overblowing the risk and you think there's something wrong with what you're doing, there's a chance you're going to get in trouble, what do you think your vibe is going to be like? Do you think you're going to be confident, charming, charismatic? No, you're going to be sketched out, and that ironically is what's going to make the girl sketched out as well. So you have this element of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So again, is it good to be aware of a theoretical risk and take common sense precautions? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. But should you be obsessed with the risk, really focused on it, and think that you're doing something wrong by talking to a girl? No, because you're not doing anything wrong. Because most girls, they're down to get approached. They want to meet a guy. They want to meet a guy in real life who's confident or has the balls to go up to them, right? And you don't want to be thinking the opposite of that. The second is over-skepticism. And I think you see this is very problematic in the black pill community. They make these guys become so skeptical to the point where they just dismiss everything as fake. So it is good to be a little skeptical because there's a lot of bullshit out there on the internet. But when you're so skeptical that you just assume that everything that goes against your narrative is false, that's an issue. So the common joke is that black pillers, they think the game is not real. So what happens when you present to them evidence to the contrary? Like you show them a picture of a guy who's a 5 with a chick who's an 8, or you show them lay reports or screenshots or infield. What do? Do they say, oh, that's interesting? No, they just say, it must be fake, right? Because it goes against my perspective. That's being extremely narrow-minded, like to the point where you just dismiss everything as fake news. That's an issue. This is kind of like a flat earther who's like convinced the earth is flat, and scientists are like, oh, well, you can actually see in satellite images the earth is round, or maybe they show them like, some scientific data, and they're like, oh, it must be fake. The pictures are fake, the scientists are lying, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's very problematic, and that's not a good mindset to have because it's going to make you closed off to new ideas, which could help you. And the last point is the black pill paints an incorrect picture of women. Now, I'm not saying it's completely unfounded. Yes, modern feminism has made some women quite quirky and weird. And yes, there are situations where a father who, was a good dad and he goes to divorce court and gets completely fucked over. Like, the stuff they base it on does happen. But again, the problem is when you take a series of bad experiences or a series of bad women and you assume all women are like that. With the exception, of course, the black pillars make for this mythical virgin. So there are these mythical virgins who are going to be good girls, but you're probably not even going to find them in the US. Maybe you have to go overseas for them, but they're going to make good wives. And every other chick, she's going to fuck you over. She's not, she's not going to love you. She's going to trade up the minute she gets a chance. She's going to be riding the cock carousel, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's really, first of all, it's an incorrect picture because there's some really great women out there. I personally met them. And secondly, it's going to create, again, this element of a self-fulfilling prophecy. prophecy, because if you think all women fucking suck, what do you think is going to happen when you meet a cool chick? You're going to massively turn her off with your vibe, because she's going to be like, oh, this guy hates women. Why would I want to be with him in the first place? Like, that shit is just going to completely carry through in your words and actions, and that's going to be an issue for you, which again, you create this element of self-fulfilling prophecy. So is it good to be aware, you know, of modern female nature? Yes. Is it good to overblow it, take it out of proportion, and assume all women are like that? No, that's definitely not a good idea. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. Show us some love by smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, and click that bell for notification. Let us know in the comments what you thought about these 3 points, whether you agree or disagree with them. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.